All right, so I mentioned that this is a CE class, right? So let's just touch on a quick couple little CE points. First of all, your compliance period, compliance period is always has something to do with CE. It's every 2 years. If you've only been licensed for less than 6 years, meaning you've only had 3 compliance periods, you're going to have to do 24 hours of continuing education. 4 hours of those classes must be this class, the law and ethics. The other 20 hours, those are electives. So as long as the class is authorized, you can choose what it is you'd like to learn. Okay, the only thing that us education providers can't teach you is I can't get up here and be all Tony Robbins and start cheering you up like, yeah, David, you could do it. You could do it. I can't do that. You know why? Because you might not be able to do it. I'm just saying. I can't cheer you up. Now, I could deliver the message. But, you know, I'm not your dad. I can't pat you on the back. But that's it. That's it. Other than that, I'm here for you. Okay? I'm here for you. All right, so now getting back to this class, right, that reduction in time, it's funny because they reduced it from 5 hours to 4 hours, but I'm telling you, I put all the same information in it. I just cut out all the fluff, just like those flashcards that you should be using, cut out all the fluff, but you didn't hear that from me. It's right there. Anyway, all right, so look, this went into effect last year on the 22nd. Last year, 2022. But that's not a tested topic. But let's just say that you have more than one insurance license, though. Let's just say you have a 214 and a 240. Okay, that would be life and annuities and health. You're only going to be required to do your continuing education for one of your insurance licenses, okay? So perhaps this time around you're doing the law and ethics class for your life, which you are. Next time you might be doing it for health. Now, if you're a non-resident licensee, this class is not for you. I mean, I got some great information and I'm entertaining as hell, but you're supposed to be doing your CE in your home state, okay? As long as those agents do CE in their home state, you're not obligated to do it here in Florida. Now, vice versa. If you live in Florida and you're a resident licensee in Florida and you're licensed in other states, you don't have to do continuing education in those states. You just have to satisfy your continuing education here, okay? Now, the reason that you can have licenses in other states, those are called reciprocal states. It means that they acknowledge the fact that Florida's dope and we've got great education providers like me teaching you guys exactly what you need. So they're like, look, you going to sell here? No problem. We understand that you got trained by Jason. So all a reciprocal state means is that if they acknowledge our license and allow you to go ahead and get appointed there as a non-resident without taking any pre-licensing or jumping through any flaming hoops outside of just filling out an application, then we'll do the same for their agents when they register here. Now, if you're New York, and I feel like I could talk trash about New York because look, like me, I'm a New Yorker. See, there's my backdrop. I'm a New Yorker. I can talk trash about New York, right? So they don't acknowledge our license. Why? Because they want you to go up there and take more tests, more blah, blah, blah. Well, we don't acknowledge yours either, okay? So that's how reciprocal works. That's all you need to know about that. Is it a test topic? If you were on your flashcards, you'd see that it's a tested topic right after continuing education. Also, you would see in the PDF, that is green. It's like, bing, 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 pick me. All right, so before I dive back into the hardcore CE things, let's discuss this in formal format, okay? Because I think you like it. Don't ever, ever, ever forget, our Florida CFO, El Jefe, Jimmy Petronas, does not require you to take boring CE classes. I don't know. If they require me to take boring CE classes, you know why? Because I'm not allowed. I wrote this class. I'm not allowed to take my class. I got to go to a boring school and read their class. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do it. We were talking about unfair trade practices, and remember defamation, that's calling somebody else's baby ugly. Look, I'm not saying anything that's not true. Defamation, that would mean that I'm spreading untrue rumors. But until you found me, tell me that you found another CE class with this type of delivery. Cheers. it's just water, relax. It could be Bud Light, whatever. I'm just kidding. All right. But yeah, they don't require us to take boring classes. And typically, when someone says ethics, you immediately think ill. Ill. Like something like it's late on Taco Tuesday in Tijuana Flats kind of ill. But not me. I'm sitting there, you say ethics, I'm thinking about stupid criminals. I got Florida man memes running through my mind. Dude, we just came through a new year, and I'll tell you what, there is nothing like the Florida man countdowns, because there's some stupid things that happen out here. All right? Do you guys hear about the caper with the salty crime family? Did you hear about those people down in, like, I think it was Tampa or something like that? This was a little while ago. I just like this one. That I cycled this back into my CE because these guys, 4 brothers. Last name is Salty. Well, you got 4 brothers, Salty. Like it just sounds like hater, right? So I keep on adding it into the class. But these guys, what I like about this violation is the business of insurance is all about being statistically predictable, right? Well, these geniuses were staging car accidents at gas stations over the course of like 3 years. They racked up about $230-something thousand in fraudulent invoices. So they were pretending that these cars were getting, they were getting into accidents. They never did. They were submitting the invoices as if they were fixing the cars, but the cars never had any damage. All right? So the Department of Financial Service investigators discovered the salty crime family had been staging these minor traffic accidents since June of 2016 and did it all the way through April of 2019. So, like I said, all the cars never damaged, fraudulent invoices, but the joke's on these salty banditos. So, anyway, since they never fixed any of the cars, the DFS is going to fix them. These brothers were all arrested and booked on racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering charges. You might be asking, how serious are these violations? They're very serious. All 4 members of that salty crime family had their bail set at $1.2 million each. If convicted, they're going to face up to 30 years in prison. Can you say ouch? Well, I heard after booking that one of the salties were heard saying, we would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for the CFO and the meddling investigators from the Division of Forensic and Investigative Services. Well, that may or may not be fake news, but, CFO Jimmy Petronas was quoted saying, fraud has reached epidemic proportions in Florida, and scams like this one drive up auto rates for every driver on the road. I'm thankful for the hard work my fraud detectives put in tracking down these fraudsters. We must continue to work together and do everything we can to uncover these fraud schemes and bring these scam artists to justice. Now, the CFO and press releases like this one, they do a nice job basically with the violations outlining how the state regulators get to work with, local circuit courts and things along those lines, right? We're going to go back a couple of seconds. All right. So CFO press releases like this one do a nice job pointing out the type of violations that the CFO and his Department of Financial Services handle. Now, of course, the Florida CFO, he isn't out there like David Caruso taking off his Ray-Ban saying something clever like, we got you. Nah, he's nothing like that. I mean, maybe he is. Maybe he is. All right. But Jimmy Petronas is the chief financial officer. And what he does do is he sits atop. He's head of the Department of Financial Services, a.k.a. DFS, a.k.a. the department, right? I'm telling you, in this class, all these administrators, they got mad nicknames, all right? So you got the Department of Financial Services, the department, and DFS. That's 3 for that one entity, right? And then we got the Office of Insurance Regulation, the Office, or the OIR. Telling you, man, they're all into their nicknames. It's like a bunch of wide receivers and DBs out there, but you ain't heard that from me, right? But this Department of Financial Services with all its nicknames, it's got 13 divisions inside that Department of Financial Services. 6 of that baker's dozen have something to directly do with the business of insurance, okay? When in that last case study, in that last press release, we mentioned the salty crime family, right? Well, that salty crime family, the investigators that looked into that caper? Department of Financial Services. Now, when I say Florida man, you say, nah, what you should be saying is thinking about some outlandish nonsense, right? That's exactly, when you say Florida man, that's what comes to my mind. But so that being said, let's just stop that there. I want to fix that. I've messed that little section up there like 3 times. But so I'm going to just go right back to